Blackbeard Pirates versus Straw Hat Pirates. Who's fighting who? Obviously, it's Blackbeard versus the Straw Hat, so that's Luffy versus BB in a final showdown. That goes without saying. But who else can we predict for sure? I've actually tried to match them up before, but I kept running into roadblocks. For example, the BB Pirates have 11 main fighters, but the Straw Hats are a group of 10, so the BB Pirates have a one-man advantage over the Straw Hats. In the past, I kept excluding Kuzan because I was convinced that Kuzan was going to betray BB at some point. I still think he would. But now, after Garp's defeat, I'm not sure how to assess Kuzan's presence in the group. Either Kuzan leaves, or the Straw Hats recruit one more crewmate. Keeping that in mind, let's get the obvious ones out of the way. First, Usopp versus Van Augur is a definite matchup. Showdown between snipers would most likely come up during the finale. Nami versus Katarina Devon is also a definite matchup. Katarina is a womanizer, and she might be enthralled by Nami. And besides, both their skill set is identical. Nami is the thief and trickster, while Katarina is a shapeshifter, so they're gonna face off. Robin versus Lafitte is also a fairly likely matchup. Lafitte has that angelic appearance, and Robin is the demon child. And after Robin's Demonio Fleur in Wano, I'm fairly certain that she would face off against Lafitte and his mysterious DF prowess. Chopper versus Doc Q and Stronger is also a definite matchup. Stronger is an animal, so Chopper can talk to it. And Doc Q's Devil Fruit is everything that Chopper despises as a doctor, so this matchup is also set in stone. Now let's go into the uncertain ones. Zoro's matchup is in question. Fans usually say that he's gonna face off against Shiryu because they're both swordsmen, but I disagree. Thematically, it does make sense, but in some ways it doesn't. Shiryu is a swordsman, yes, but he's not a fanatic about it. He likes killing, so he uses a sword. That's just the reasoning behind it. He has no desire to be the best swordsman or something. His fight against Zoro wouldn't mesh well. That's why I think Shiryu versus Sanji would be the ideal matchup. Shiryu has Absalom's Devil Fruit now, the same Devil Fruit that Sanji wanted as a kid, and we all know how much Sanji hated Absalom for that in Thriller Bark. Besides, Sanji's observation haki is very developed. Arguably, Sanji has the second best obs haki in the crew, next only to Luffy. So that would put him on an even playing field against Shiryu and his Devil Fruit. All that being said, if Kuzan betrays BB before the Blackbeard Pirates face off against the Straw Hats, then I think that Zoro would face off against Jesus Burgess. Just like Burgess, Zoro is also a gym rat. They have that in common. But if Kuzan is still around, then Zoro would have no choice but to face Kuzan in battle. Otherwise, the Straw Hats might not survive. Moving on. Before Egghead, I really had no idea how to match up San Juan Wolf against any Straw Hat. That was until we met Vega Force 01 and the Iron Giant on Egghead. Now, there's a good chance that Frankie and the Vegapunk satellites might build a brand new robot, since General Frankie was damaged by Sasaki on Wano. We just might get to see a new Frankie robot, one that's big enough to duke it out with San Juan Wolf on a kaiju battle scale. These are the last remaining 4 that I have no idea how to match up. There are some connections, but I really am unconvinced. SBS 106 did say that Jinbei has the highest alcohol tolerance among the Straw Hats, which is a feat. Considering how much Zoro drinks, Jinbei being a better drinker than him is already an accomplishment. Knowing that, if I have to guess, I would place Jinbei against heavy drinker Vasco Shiat. And so, the last 2 remaining would be Brook versus Avalo Pizarro. And obviously, I have no idea how Brook would fight Pizarro and win. Bottom line, in the case of Kuzan betraying BB, I think this is how the list should go in my opinion. Luffy versus Blackbeard, Zoro versus Burgess, Sanji versus Shiryu, Usopp versus Augur, Nami versus Devon, Chopper versus Doc Q, Robin versus Lafitte, Frankie versus Wolf, Jinbei versus Vasco Shot, and last but not the least, Brook versus Pizarro.